Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to another video. In this video, we'll be taking a look at a video called K-pop idols can never be true musicians. Now, I don't know if that's true or not, but I'm going to be checking out this video. It's by Neuros. I'll be sure to link their video down below in the description below, and you can check their channel out. But yeah, I mostly don't listen to K-pop. I mostly listen to like rock and metal and regular pop, sorta. Um, I generally listen to what's generally out in like mainstream music, but I mostly stay in the metal and rock genre because I'm a guitarist and I like metal and rock and stuff. So, but anyway, I'm also a musician, but I want to see why they can never be true musicians because I am not really familiarized with K-pop so much. I have done a few reactions to some groups like SHINee and BLACKPINK and new, and I think that may be it. Honestly, a few guys have told me to check some of those artists out, and I did, and I enjoyed it quite a lot. But I really don't know much about the industry, K-pop industry in Korea. A buddy of mine sometimes talks about K-pop groups too with me, and he makes it sound very hard from how they are trained to some of the things they have to go through. But again, I'm not really familiarized with that because I don't really keep up or follow it or listen to it generally. So we're gonna check out this video to see does it do a good job in explaining why they can't be true musicians and what is a true musician. By the way, if you're new here, be sure to subscribe, make sure to clap, and let me know what you guys think of this reaction down below. And that's basically it. We'll be jumping this right now, starting in 3, 2, 1.
K-pop idols aren't music artists anymore. They're more like TikTokers, or better yet, influencers. Because what's the difference? Idols these days are lip syncing, jumping on to create trends, and creating viral moments, but not real music. This is what the average K-pop group has become in 2024, focused on visuals, aesthetics, and personality, while ignoring the one thing they should prioritize: music. It feels like no one in K-pop is taking the art form seriously anymore, except for a select few. And when companies tell their idols to sing live, netizens often come for their necks. In this video, we will dive into why idols often remain trapped in the K-pop system and, despite their undeniable talent, why they might never be recognized as true musicians. But what's really the difference between a musician and a K-pop idol? A true musician is someone who has control over their music, their lyrics, their sound, and actively plays a role in creating what they perform, and prioritize music as the most important thing in their profession. To become more marketable, many musicians learn to play multiple instruments or experiment with various styles. They're involved in every aspect of their craft, from songwriting to production.
Okay, I'm going to take a quick pause right here. Generally, I don't normally pause too much, but I will be doing a kind of a video breakdown during this. So I am a musician. I'm also an audio engineer. I went to school for music and audio engineering and graduated with those. And as you can see down below, I have quite a bunch of guitars. I do know how to play piano. Also, recently I've been learning drums, although I've been knowing how to program MIDI drums for quite a while, but I've actually been learning to do actual drums because I feel that with my limited knowledge as a guitarist, I don't have as much information that a drummer would have. Like, I want to think like a drummer so I can be able to come up with better drum parts more naturally. Instead of it sounding kind of good enough, I want it to sound really, really good. And also be able to express my ideas better. But anyway, so yeah, I do 100% agree with that. I've performed quite a lot, hundreds of times, probably near 1,000 times, honestly. And it's all been my lyrics, all been my music, it's all been my gear, it's all been generally about me. So yeah, I 100% agree. So let's see what he has to say about them, I guess.
Now, what is an idol? An idol is someone who sells their image, which must align with certain beauty standards and characteristic traits on camera. They are placed in a specific box of expectations. Every action and appearance on camera must meet particular criteria and standards. Most often, they are expected to be perfect in every aspect, whether it's dancing, singing, looks, personality, rapping, or performing. Idols are designed to be idolized, someone people look up to as a perfect being, a person they believe is the best companion who can fix all their problems and make them feel like they're in heaven. They are products created by companies to make fans feel as if they're in a relationship with their idol. However, despite all this, idols often lack creative freedom. So, what's holding these idols back? The answer lies in the system. K-pop's training structure is intense, with a primary focus on perfecting performance skills. From a young age, trainees endure a rigid routine of singing, dancing, and fan interaction training. But the focus isn't on creating music. It's about creating a product that can please everyone. However, it's not just the system anymore, it's also the individuals. I could name names, but let's be honest, the amount of backlash I'd get isn't worth it. The truth is, many idols today aren't entering the industry to express themselves or create music. Instead, they're chasing fame, brand deals, and the chance to become ambassadors for luxury fashion brands. This system leaves idols with little to no creative input when it comes to their music. Producers, writers, and labels make most of the key decisions. Idols perform the songs, but they don't own them. Think about it. How many idols do you know who genuinely write their own songs or lyrics? Sure, some do, but they're exceptions, not the rule. The constant pressure to perform and satisfy fans leaves little room for genuine artistic exploration. Of course, there are idols who break the mold and strive to become true musicians. Look at BTS's rap line.
Before he talks about the BTS rap line, I will just do a small input. So the way he broke down what an idol is and all of that is quite interesting, and it seems to be to hit the money on the head. But I'm kind of curious because I don't quite know much about the industry over there. Whose idea was it to come up with a idol system? And because it's quite interesting, like I want to know, is it based off of Korean culture or is it based off of American culture, like from the 80s with like Michael Jackson or um maybe the Beatles? I know those are completely different from what K-pop is, but I know to a certain extent certain parts of those were manufactured to be as commercially liked as possible. So I'm just wondering if that's what um, whoever came up with the K-pop concept or idol concept uh, based it off of, because I'm not quite sure. I also do know that in the US, some, at least in the 2000s, and I guess up to 2010s, they did have certain, I don't want to say idol groups, but they did have certain artists, if you can call them that, performers who um, were basically assigned music and lyrics and given an image also that they had to keep up also. Although I do know the standards are way different in Korea, but to a certain extent they did have something like that here. Um, and it's just interesting, to be honest, because I'm also not saying it's a bad thing to just go for the money or the fame or the brand deals or all that other stuff, because when I was taking music in college, I took some songwriting classes, and the professor, he had written like thousands of songs, some for TV, some for movies, some for commercials, a lot for commercials, and a lot for just random other stuff. And he basically said, it's just good to write music and sell it and sell all the rights away. Just sell it so you can make money off of it. And I thought that was quite weird because it didn't seem like his heart was into it, but it seemed like he was just about the money of it, like getting money from the movies, from the television shows, from the commercials. And I think he said music, you can use music to market everything, whether that's a car, some brand of food, whatever. But you don't use music to market music. So he's basically saying you use music as a tool to make money, not to uh, sell music itself. So you're selling an idea basically, and to an extent that's true. But like, it's just really interesting how some view music like that. Kind of like another YouTuber who recently called it quits, who basically also said he was just doing it for the money. I may do a video on that a bit later, but let's see what he has to say about the BTS
RM,
rap group.
Sugar, and J Hope aren't just rappers, they're producers and songwriters who've contributed extensively to BTS's discography and even released their own solo work. And of course, G Dragon, a pioneer known for pushing boundaries in K-pop. His experimentation with sound and artistic contributions have been monumental. But even with fame and talent, the industry limits what they can do. The reality is harsh. This system is designed to churn out content quickly and efficiently, so their groups can stay relatable. That means idols will always be bound by contracts, prioritizing profitability over creativity. K-pop fans also play a significant role in this. We demand idols to be everywhere, on TV shows, social media, commercials, and more. Fans go crazy when they don't see their idol for a week. The demand is relentless, leaving labels no choice but to overwork idols, giving them no time to sit down and create their own music. And it seems like many fans aren't even bothered if their idol is singing live or just lip syncing. In fact, some fans actively defend it, arguing that everyone else does it or labeling anyone who criticizes it as a hater. But here's the problem. When there's no criticism or demand for live vocals, how can change ever happen? If idols aren't held accountable or encouraged to sing live, they'll naturally grow more comfortable relying on lip syncing. It creates a cycle. Companies prioritize visuals and performance over vocal authenticity because fans don't demand otherwise, and in turn, idols are less motivated or even given the chance to push their boundaries as musicians. The sad truth is that this apathy from fans plays a significant role in keeping the system stagnant. So the question is, are fans really ready to see idols as musicians, or are we, as fans, part of the problem? What's sad is that idols...
I'm gonna pause real quick. He made a really interesting breakdown on the live part. I also trained a lot live for vocals, and I've performed quite a lot, like a lot. And I remember doing tons of training for my voice because I always wanted to be seen as authentic, as real, and but as I moved into learning about audio production and getting really deep into that, from mixing and mastering and whatnot, it gave me a new perspective on music in general. That basically, what you hear on the record isn't even authentic to what they're actually doing. And I know people may say that 100 times, but it's 1000% true. Especially from someone who's worked with many different other artists who started from the basic concept of it to the finished product. It's quite drastic how good you can make someone sound if you really know what you're doing. And I'm not saying that's a bad thing. I actually think it's a great thing. But with that said, I can see why live vocals may not be pushed when people are so accustomed to perfection, perfectly mixed, perfectly mastered, crafted songs, that when something may not sound perfectly like that, or if it sounds off, or something's just not there, you can be like, well, this doesn't sound good because I hear it on the wherever and it sounds like this, but you don't sound like you did there. So I can see why some may not care about that or may feel anyway about all about it. We're gonna jump back into it.
Often get labelled as talented performers, and sometimes even talentless, but their potential as musicians is stifled. Their careers are already planned, with no room to experiment or fail. The very fundamentals part of growth. K-pop labels make enormous profits off idols, but these artists rarely experience the same creative fulfillment. There are exceptions who break through the system, but for most idols, becoming a true musician isn't even on the table, and many don't even aspire to be one. Instead, they remain part of a machine, entertainment factories churning out idol after idol, prioritizing marketability over artistry. Don't get me wrong, there are incredibly talented idols out there. Their performances are on fire, their charisma is unmatched. But the industry they're in doesn't prioritize their evolution into true artists. If you found this video eye-opening, hit that like button and subscribe for more. And let me know, what do you think? Is there a way K-pop idols can break free from this mold and become the musicians they deserve to be? Or is the system just too big to change? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. I'll see you in the next one.
That was such a great, well-constructed video. I'm glad I watched that and did a reaction to it. So, I think at the end he was basically saying like, like, are fans the problem, or like, should it continue to go as it's going? And I don't. I think it's a bit interesting as someone who has been heavily involved in music for over 10 years now, and who has performed a lot. I think many other people I've seen would also prefer the fame or the money than to just be a nameless musician performing night in, night out. And I think a lot would actually enjoy the benefits. But at the same time, it's always great to be yourself, but sometimes I don't want to say money changes everything, but I think many people would, if they got guaranteed fame and money and success from not being authentic, from just being a product, I think a lot of people would do that. So I don't really know what to say about that per se. Am I saying being a real artist or musician is overrated? No, I'm not saying that. I think it's great to express yourself in whatever way you feel is necessary, whether that's through your art or your music or drawing or whatever. But it's just a really interesting thing, honestly. But I am still very new to K-pop in general, and I've only really listened to BLACKPINK, some solo stuff from Lisa, some solo stuff from Rose, Onu, who's from SHINee, and a little bit of the other guy who was in SHINee. And I have listened to like one BTS song, so I am completely not, I don't have much information about the genre at all, or the things that go on, or the practices or whatnot. So if you guys want to drop me some things to check out down below, I'll appreciate it. We can chat more about what makes a real artist, or do you prefer the way it is? I know many people who do like K-pop a lot really do idolize those artists and or performers, and I think there's nothing wrong with being a performer, to be honest. When I was first getting into baby metal, people told me that the girls didn't even write the music, or they were just, it was kind of like an idol group that that they made like a metal themed idol group that just took over. And I like the music, so I can't say that it's a bad thing to just not to be made to appear and sound a certain way. It's not a bad thing, but because some people do it quite well, but it's a trade up. Besides, would you even like your favorite artist if they were actually authentic, their authentic selves? Like, because most people they put on a mask of like what you want them to see, whether that's a YouTuber, whether that's a person on television, a movie actor, whatever. But you rarely ever get to actually see them or experience them, because people have good days, they have bad days, but you always want to appear your best. So yeah, I'm not sure if most people would honestly prefer the authentic artist, the person, compared to the curated image that they have. So but that's just an interesting talk. Let me know what you guys thought of this down below. Be sure to leave a like on the video if you guys liked, subscribe if you're new. This is like the second video I'm doing in 2025. I will do more videos like I did the previous year, but I'm kind of working my way back into it. It is a lot of work to make these videos, even if it is just reaction videos and editing and whatnot. But hope you guys have a great day, and I'll see you guys next time. Later, guys.